Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for once again coming back to view my channel. For those of you that happen to be new here, welcome. For my returning family, what's going on? Welcome home, y'all. So I know it has been some time since I've uploaded a video. I be tired, y'all. I be drained. I be overstimulated. And there are times in my mind where it's like, just pick up the phone. Just plug up the computer. You have so much to talk about, and I literally can't. Just to give you guys a little insight, this is something called executive dysfunction that comes along with neurodivergent people. And I am going to make some videos giving a little insight into the mindset of a lot of highly intellectual personalities and where some of these traits begin to stem from. With that being said, let's just jump straight into the topic on today. Mean women, fake friends, gossiping, bickering, backbiting. And I know this is something that I talked about before, but I'm going to approach it just from a little different angle on today. I began to talk to my grandmother, my father's mother, and sometimes we just sit and we talk, and I go to her in times when I need wisdom. This is something that I've done ever since I was a little girl. I would go and just randomly call both of my grandmothers and talk to them. I always had a relationship with my mommy where I could talk to my mommy. I also knew that the wisdom that she gathered came from these two women as well, and I became very intentional about having those relationships with my grandmothers. So I was talking to my grams, that's my daddy's mama, and we began to share some experiences, and oftentimes she just looks at me in awe and says, I went through that exact same thing, and begins to share stories with me. I look a lot like my grandmother. I'm a chameleon, okay? If you put me next to my mother, I favor her. I got her forehead, her freckles, her high cheekbones, and her little chin. If you put me next to my father, I look just like him. I have his full lips, his thick eyebrows, and he happens to look like his mom with a mixture of his dad, and I have his daddy eye shape, his mother's. I look like my grandmother, except for she's tall. My grandmother's 5'10", well 5'9". She's 5'9", and she's this nice deep chocolate complexion with some of the prettiest eyes I have ever seen. They're not hazel. They're just really, really pretty. And so she's a gorgeous woman, like holding no, she's gorgeous till this day. So I go to her and I speak to her from her experiences, but to also want to know how to navigate things. Because ever since I was a little girl, I would talk to my grandmother about the way that I thought and my logic and my emotion behind different things. And she would always tell me, you do not think like most women. She's told me that my entire life, which circles back to the beginning of the video with neurodivergency. It begins to lean me towards the logical side, more so the emotional side. With that being said, that causes friction in my relationships with other women, because there are just some things that women do that I literally cannot comprehend. I cannot process. I literally do not understand mean women. It's just something I don't comprehend. I don't understand women that gossip about people that they say that they love. I don't understand bitter people. I understand the causes and that this is an effect. I understand the symptoms and the reasons behind. I just do not compute as to why women would want to tear other women down. It's just something I don't understand. We began to talk about how you can tell that you are the subject of conversation when you are not in a room. And it is deafening. Neurotypical people do not have the ability to mask their behaviors, to hide their brokenness, their wounds. I recognize patterns. I recognize changes in body language. I recognize change in faces. I recognize change in tones, change in atmospheres. I pick up on the buzzwords that's used. I see the inside jokes. And at first, I would just chunk it up to spiritual gifts because that's what I've been told my entire life. And I'm definitely gifted spiritually. Duchuku, Okike, Ambiamba, El Elyon, the Most High, Yah of Abraham. When we began to take a gander into the intellectual mindset and the logical mindset of what we see in men versus most women who normally react in an emotional state first. This causes great discrepancies when you happen to be a woman who wants to sit and find solution. When you happen to be a woman who does not partake in what 80% of women do, which is gossip, which is mean girl behavior, which is just to sit back and mumble and to complain, not talk things out, become codependent. Like, when you do not do things that most women do, and when you do not think the way that most women think, you will be able to pick me. And that's fine, darling, because you can be the hoe that wants to till the ground of the garden. Some of us would prefer to be the flower, the rose bush, the corn, the wheat, the grain, the sustenance that gets picked by the man that used the hoe to toil the ground to become prepared for the harvest season. That's completely fine. This begins to tell me that when women sit back and can hold conversations about other women, they have some inadequacies on the inside of themselves. When women can sit back and pick apart the appearance of another woman. Now, there are times when I walk down the street and I see something crazy and I'll be like, I make a noise to myself. A lot of times it's because of the scantily clad nature that we have presented ourselves in. And it makes me want to cover, to shield, to protect, to talk to figure out what is going on and what's wrong. Whereas when I'm walking with other women and they make remarks about the appearance of, and you'll even hear them make some snide remarks about you, underhandedly, of course, because, I mean, I'm not even finna go there because I'm sound very arrogant. Very arrogant, so I'm gonna stop. But when women just begin to point out the flaws, when women begin to tear other women down, this is an indication that her soul is sick and that she needs help and that there is something wrong with her. Women, I encourage you, because this is something that I'm learning to do, especially after this past year and well, these past few years, I'm going to say, specifically since my mother died, it has revealed even more the lack of female relationship that I truly have. I will say that 90% of the women that I know till this day, whether I'm in contact with them or not, are phony, are fake, are mean, and are bitter. They gossip and they backbite. They hurt people because they are hurt themselves. Remove yourself from around these people. Readjust your friendships. I'm also learning that you don't have to cut everybody off. You don't have to go cold turkey, but I can go cold turkey. Thanksgiving in Chicago, reclassifications from natives. to mulatto. Okay, I'm going to put that spoken word down there. There are times when you can readjust who you are to a person and who they are to you. And it's hard to stop confiding in people that you've once confided in. It's hard when you know that you're a person that lacked boundaries, when you're a person that's been codependent before, for whatever reasons. Do not trust these people. Put your thinking cap on and protect yourself. There are scriptures in the Bible that begin to say that the Most High will not remove all of your enemies around you, because then the land will be overtaken by pestilence. So if you are still around me and you talk about me and you're fake and you're phony and all of this, it's because of my choosing. Keep your enemies closer because you know too much about me. Therefore, I will have to take you off at your head. And I will, without hesitation. Men, beware of these type of women. They will set you up, at least where I'm from. They will hang you out to dry. These type of women will be with men that they don't even want to be with in reality, because they know a come up is going to come up off that man. These type of women will gain friendships because they know the access to different realms and different sectors that they will have by being friends with the women that they say they do not like. These women will be friends with you to cipher your anointing, to cipher your style, to cipher your mindset, to cipher your spirit, your intellect, because you are a solid person, because you're one that prays, you're one that shows up, you're one that's just amazing. Beware. Yeshua Bar Yosef began to warn us in the New Testament that those betray us will be those that are closest to us. Be surprised by nothing. Be safe and stay dangerous. And if you happen to be one of these women, seek help. Stop bleeding all over people. It's showing in your skin. And this is me as a woman. It's showing in your hair. It's showing in everything. Septic behavior causes roots of bitterness that can cause illness that will lead to death. This is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Food for thought.